Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, we are back at it. Another day of training camp means another training camp video recap. We have been consistently following the Ravens throughout training camp and the preseason, and we will continue to do so in preparation of the Ravens opening night matchup on the road in Buffalo against the Bills on Sunday Night Football. So buckle up, guys. We are getting closer and closer to the regular season. Cannot wait for that Sunday Night Football matchup against the Bills. A rematch of last season's divisional round playoff matchup between these two. Should be a fun one. But anyway, we are here to talk about what occurred in practice today. A lot to get through, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. A lot of stuff happened in practice today, but I will have to start off with some news, which I'm sure some of you guys have already heard. Rookie cornerback Robert Longerbeam is officially out for the season in regards to a knee injury. Harbaugh confirmed that he will be getting surgery. Now, this has been kind of a weird situation because John, in terms of how he was talking about it and describing it in his press conference today, it was a little bit weird. It's like, are we sure what the injury is? This whole situation has been weird. We had heard that he tore something, a ligament in his knee, but the way the Ravens have been talking about and describing it, it's been kind of a weird discussion around it. I don't know what's going on with that, but the reports say it's a season-ending knee injury. Harbaugh did confirm he'll have surgery, but past that, it was very just weird in terms of the conversation. I think we'll keep track of that and see how that progresses because the whole situation regarding that has been weird. Anyway, we've got to get into talk about practice. This should be a real good fun one to talk about. Let's say this right now. Penalties were not an issue in practice today. Hallelujah. They actually had a practice where penalties wasn't a major issue for them. Hey guys, can you just do that? Moving forward, can you be more consistent in doing that? Please be more consistent. We're begging you, please be more consistent. Limit the penalties. You'll do so much better if you limit the penalties. There'll be a lot less problems if you limit the penalties. At some point, they got to get it together. Today was a great day to see them not committing penalties, so that was cool. Now, today's practice actually was a day for the defense. So defense actually won today. It was a really great day for the secondary. The secondary made a lot of great plays, had a couple picks, and had a lot of pass breakups. Really good day for the defense. To talk about some of the aspects of the defense, you had Malachi Starks, who had an interception off of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was looking for Kirkwood at the back of the end zone. It was a situation in which the coverage was great. All day, the secondary in practice today, coverage was great. Even the highlight plays for the offense, it was a situation in which it was tight coverage, but just a perfect throw by Lamar and a tough contested catch by the receiver. So the defense was on it today. But this was a situation where nothing was open. Lamar was trying to make a play. He had seen Kirkwood in the back of the end zone. Malachi Starks saw it. He jumped the play and picked off the pass. So that was great for him. Another player, DeAndre Jackson, he picked off Cooper Rush. It was during the 2-minute drill, and actually that interception ended the 2-minute drill for the second team offense out there. Cooper Rush had a solid day of practice, up and down, had some really nice throws, but the negative obviously was that interception to Jackson to end the 2-minute drill there. So yeah, DeAndre Jackson had an interception, Malachi Starks had an interception, Mike Green getting active again. He had a sack on Lamar during their 2-minute drill, which we'll speak on that as well because they actually have the highlight of the day. But yeah, Mike Green got a sack on Lamar Jackson during the 2-minute drill. Great to see the defense making plays. Another player that made plays, Marlon Humphrey, had a great pass breakup on Zay Flowers. Lamar Jackson looking for Zay Flowers in the back of the end zone. He found him. It was a great throw by Lamar. It was there for Zay Flowers to make the play, and here comes Marlon Humphrey as Zay Flowers trying to make the catch and complete it and get both feet down. Marlon Humphrey came there just to knock that ball out of his hands. incomplete pass there. Great pass breakup. Love to see Marlon Humphrey making plays. Marlon Humphrey's been making a good chunk of plays throughout training camp. You have not really had a lot of stories, or not a lot of stories, a lot of reports about Marlon Humphrey getting burnt or getting beat by any of these receivers. So Marlon Humphrey's been having a great training camp. When you don't hear a corner getting beat consistently, that's a good thing. I know everyone is picking on Nate Wiggins, but people have to understand that Nate Wiggins is making great plays. Nate Wiggins is still getting interceptions. I'm saying this because we will be talking about Nate Wiggins again. Stay tuned. So yeah, Malachi Starks, great. Marlon Humphrey, great. Mike Green, great. Keandre Jackson, great play by him. Overall, the defense was just really on it today, specifically the secondary. My God, they were out there being active and breaking up a lot of passes. Great to see this defense being very active there. Offensively, let's speak on a few things. Wait. Before we do that, I just saw this in my notes, and John Harbaugh talked about this today. Tyler Loop, he did not kick. Loop did not kick today. The kicker for them was instead Jordan Stout, our punter. And the holder on that kick, when they were kicking field goals, was Tyler Linderbaum. So they had Tyler Linderbaum as the holder, and Stout was the kicker. He had 3 field goal attempts, made all three. All 3 of them were under 30 yards, so it wasn't like it was anything like long distance, but he had made all 3 of those kicks. That was great to see, and it was interesting to see Tyler Linderbaum be the holder and Stout being the kicker. They asked Harbaugh about this, and he just said it's just good practice for any contingency plans. You know, in case it's a situation where they need somebody to go out there and kick, in case something happened to Loom, or you need a holder and something happened to Stout. They're preparing for that. So that's a pretty cool thing. I wanted to get that out here before we go to the offense. Speaking of the offense, not too many big plays from the Ravens offense, but there were still some big plays. You saw the usual names getting active here. A few plays from Mark Andrews, some stuff from Rashad Bateman, something small. Zay Flowers making some plays here and there. He probably would have had that highlight play if he held onto that catch, but that ends up being a highlight for Marlon Humphrey, because that would have been for a touchdown. But simple stuff from Zay Flowers as well. Guys just being consistent in practice and going out there and making plays. 2 names that actually popped up for the Ravens offense in terms of their starters was Tez Walker and DeAndre Hopkins. Tez Walker had some nice catches out there. Tez Walker was making some nice plays. Tez Walker had some nice catches, and he was active as well during their 2-minute drill, which I want to save that for last, because that's where both Tez Walker and D-Hop kind of ended that drill, and I'll speak on that a little bit more. But yeah, some of the offensive guys were doing well out there. Like we already said, the offensive line was doing a great job. In terms of the second team, great stuff we saw out there from, or at least really solid stuff we saw out there from Cooper Rush, minus the pick during 2-minute drills. But Cooper Rush made some really nice throws and looked nice. Another person I wanted to mention before we end things off here, Myles Gaskin, the running back the Ravens recently just signed. Obviously, we had seen him play with the Miami Dolphins. Ravens just recently signed him. Myles Gaskin was out there, and he made some good plays, man. He got some nice runs off. You know, the guy was just out there making plays. He had a couple of great runs. It's just great to see him active. We're going to see more of Myles Gaskin when the Ravens' second preseason game happens, because, of course, Keaton Mitchell is banged up. Rashid Ali's banged up. So it's going to be a lot of Myles Gaskin and Dearness Johnson. So just be prepared for those two to really take a good chunk of the reps for the second preseason game. But it was nice to see Gaskins, who just recently came here, already making himself known within the offense that he's there, just making plays in practice. That's great to see for the most part. Last but not least, we get into the offensive plays. Now, like I said, I talked about Tez Walker and I talked about D-Hop being active and making great plays. These two ended the 2-minute drill. So yeah, there was a situation where Mike Green got a sack on Lamar, which definitely didn't help them. But in terms of that 2-minute drill, Lamar ended that drill with 2 throws. It was a deep shot to Tez Walker, who made the catch, and then there was another deep shot to DeAndre Hopkins for a 40-yard touchdown. Some have said 40, other reports say 45. It's somewhere between 40 to 45. So it's a long touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins, who, of course, was being covered by one Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins got beat on that. He did not turn his head around. Lamar put it right on the money. D-Hop obviously showcasing he can win one-on-one matchups, which is what we're going to need him to do all season long. He wins that matchup against Nate Wiggins, beats him one-on-one. Lamar delivers a beautiful ball to him. D-Hop does D-Hop things, makes the catch, goes into the end zone, 40-plus yard touchdown bomb during 2-minute drills to end the drill. So yeah, I wanted to save that for last because I know a lot of people are getting on Nate Wiggins' case, but people are forgetting that Nate Wiggins is making plays. Yeah, there's a lot of plays where he's getting beat because I'm pretty sure if you've noticed, DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, and Zay Flowers have taken turns in picking on Nate Wiggins consistently. But that doesn't mean Nate Wiggins has not responded. He's responded well. He has a bunch of interceptions in practice so far through training camp. So the guy's making plays. Yeah, he's giving up plays, but he's also making plays. So I feel like some people are being a little bit too harsh on Nate Wiggins for being consistently the topic of discussion when we see these highlight plays for the Ravens receivers. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Kyle Hamilton and Jair Alexander didn't practice. This is the last bit of tidbit to add, but you know, nothing too serious with either one of those guys. Kyle Hamilton was actually doing one-on-one drills by himself, so he was out there practicing, but he wasn't practicing with the team, so he was doing individual drills. Anyway, not much really to say here. That's pretty much it for practice today. Tomorrow seems like it's gonna be a lot less tame, probably just running through some small things, so we'll see what happens. I don't think it's gonna be anything major, and we'll go from there. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Be sure to stay safe, and peace out.